can't believe this is my wedding dress. I cannot believe it. I can't believe this is my wedding dress. This is my dress. And it is beautiful. Hi guys, so today's video is a wedding Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions all about my wedding day, my budgeting, just anything. I asked you guys on Instagram. If you guys are not following me there, you can follow me, and whenever I ask something like this, you guys can participate. But yeah, I am in a different part of my bedroom. I'm just on the other side of the bed, so I hope you guys don't mind the little background change. I don't know, let me know if you guys like it, and I have different lighting set up right now, so I don't know if you guys like it. Anyways, I'm gonna jump into the questions. I have my Instagram open. I know that when I was planning my wedding recently, right before I got married, I was watching a ton of YouTube videos all related to wedding stuff, wedding planning, and everything, so I figured this could be kind of helpful for you guys, and it's something fun in general. So Legit Brooke asked, what was the hardest part of the wedding planning? The hardest part, the last week, the week prior to the wedding was definitely the hardest. That got a little crazy, a little hectic. There was emails back and forth a lot. I had to make sure that like I had all the contracts from the vendors and everything. Luckily my wedding planner was amazing. She helped me out a ton, but even then I know I had to send her like the longest email of life, explaining everything to her, explaining where I wanted certain things, but then I also told her that if she wanted to switch things around, she didn't have to follow exactly what I said, just because I trusted her so much. I mentioned this in my last video, finding a wedding planner that you really trust and you know she'll take over when need be, then that is completely essential. And just finding an all-around wedding planner is so good, so I highly recommend that. I will list my wedding planner down below if you guys are interested, because I know that was super helpful for me. Kim Jims asked, how did you budget for the wedding? This is kind of difficult just because I kind of came up with a random number, I guess you can say, early on, and I tried to stick to that. I did go a little over, but at the same time, I came up with that number knowing that I would go a little over, so I guess it wasn't like my true budget. I just realistically wanted to stay under it, but I knew it wasn't gonna happen. Communication is key, knowing exactly how much family and friends are gonna contribute, and then knowing how much you can budget for. That's kind of my biggest tip. I know it's kind of hard, but on average, if you guys are wondering, if you go on like didnt.com or if you just like Google it, I guess the average amount spent for a wedding is $30,000. A lot of people can stay under that. A lot of people go over if you have money for that. I feel like we were definitely kind of on a strict budget, but at the same time, we were willing to spend on the things that were most important to me. The most important things were photography, videography, flowers. I guess everything was actually pretty important. Everything ended up being super important, but at the same time, like, you just have to know where you're willing to spend more money. And yeah, I'm happy with the way everything turned out. It was the best day ever. My vendors were all beyond amazing. I will list everybody down below because no joke, like, they were beyond amazing. Okay, Nat Loves Pink asked, what do you think was definitely worth the money, and what do you think you could have spent less on or skipped? This is a good question, actually. It kind of ties into the last question. Definitely worth the money. Pretty much everything. Oh man. But if I had to pick one thing that was a little bit pricier and that was definitely worth the money, was the flowers. I knew whenever I booked them that I wanted to, flowers can get very expensive, and I didn't want to go crazy, but at the same time I didn't want like tiny little itty bitty centerpieces or anything. And I wanted like a nice arch and all that stuff, so I knew I had to spend a little bit more on florals. They do get pretty pricey, but at the same time, I feel like I spent a good amount on that. And I'm happy that I did. If anything, I would have spent a little more just to have flowers be even like crazier, but they turned out beautiful. I couldn't be more happy with them. Something I could have skipped on, I know what I could have skipped on actually. I got 2 sets of lounging areas. They were like couches. They were so cute, and they were like these vintage couches. The rental company, don't get me wrong, was amazing and everything, but they were pretty pricey, and I feel like guests didn't even sit on them. Since I had 2 areas like I mentioned, I think guests sat in one of the areas, and then the other one, I think people thought it was too pretty to even sit on, even though that's what they were for. I wanted people to take pictures on them. I actually wanted to take pictures on them, and I never got around to taking pictures on them, so I was really bummed about that actually. And yeah, I feel like I could have just stuck to one, and that would have been half the cost that I spent on that, and they were pretty pricey, so I think that's something that I could have skipped on. Did you DIY anything that you would purchase or hire instead if you could do it again? I did DIY a few things, not very much. There was this hanging garland that I put behind the bar, and I'm glad I DIY'd it. I don't think a rental company really rents those out. They were in my colors. It just took a few hours to make, and it was like $200 or $300, so not too bad for DIYing it, and I think it turned out really good. A lot of people were actually taking pictures by it. I'll post a few because a lot of people on Instagram were using that as a backdrop, so I thought that was really cool. Yeah, those are the main things. The other DIYs were actually just signage, and my wedding planner, like I mentioned in my last video, actually does calligraphy, so she took care of that and it looked amazing. Like, once again, I could not be more thankful for her and all her hard work. Like, that was her just being the sweetest ever and going above and beyond what was required of her. So I was super grateful for that, and that I loved it. Like, although typically I will say not every wedding planner does that, obviously, so a lot of times you do have to pay somebody to do calligraphy if you know anybody in your area. So that is something that I definitely would not do myself, and I would hire somebody to do. She also said things you didn't think about that popped up. There wasn't anything the day of that popped up. Everything ran really smoothly. Looking back, the only thing is I did wish I took more pictures. I haven't seen the pictures yet. I've only seen a few. So for all I know is that there's like amazing pictures in there, and they're more than enough. But from what I'm recalling, I do wish I took more pictures with like my bridal party and my sisters and everybody. If you're planning your wedding, make sure you allot a lot of time to pictures. I know once you're there, it gets kind of hectic and crazy and you're like, I just want to go enjoy my wedding. But at the same time, it's literally the only thing you have to look back on. And I know a lot of people say this, and it's so true. The only thing I have now are memories and the pictures in the video that I'm gonna get. So I do wish I spent an extra 15 minutes. 15 minutes would not have killed me, but it would have given me an extra 100 pictures. So yeah, that's something that I wish I did. Emily Perez says, where did you get your rentals from, like chairs, furniture, etc.? They actually came from a few different places, but if you guys are wondering about the vintage rentals, which I haven't posted pictures of just because I don't have that, but they were so beautiful. Like, it was like the cutest little lounge areas. It was so cute. It was from a company called Sundrop Vintage. I will list them down below as well because they were amazing. I actually went to their warehouse in San Clemente and I met with the girls. They were so sweet. It's like a family owned place. They have so many different things. So yeah, I highly recommend them. Ruby Castillo asked, what is the name of your dress, and was your reception expensive because it was such a beautiful place? You're so sweet, thank you. The name of my dress, I don't know if it has an exact name. It might have a style number. If I find it, I'll link it down below, but it was by David Hasbani. I talked to him on Skype because he is in Israel. If you guys watch my wedding tips, trying on wedding dress video, I did mention Israeli designers. Whenever I was looking down here, every single dress that I fell in love with was an Israeli designer. They are very pricey, but since I went directly to him, and since I didn't have to go through like a third-party like retail store or anything, it was a little more affordable. Nonetheless, it was still pretty pricey, but it's worth it if that's what you want to invest in. I wanted to invest in my wedding dress. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, he was so sweet. He was super accommodating. I was able to talk to him whenever. I emailed back and forth. So yes, I did not try on my dress before I bought it, but I will insert a clip actually of the day I received it and my reaction and all that. So yeah. I never tried on my wedding dress, and I'm about to try it on right now for the very first time. I am trying it on by myself, but I figured like, why not film me trying on my dress for the very first time? So let's go try it on. I cannot wait. Okay, so I just hung it up quickly here. I'm like, oh, so excited. So I'm gonna unzip it. Obviously it looks like this. Look at how beautiful the detail on it is. It is so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna have to set this down because I need to put this on. Okay, I have it on. Took me a little bit. I was struggling and my camera was dying, so I didn't want to like turn it on while I was struggling, but oh my gosh. The most beautiful dress I have ever tried on. I tried on so many dresses too, so I am so happy that it like looks exactly, whoa, okay, I'm super dark. Let me go over to the light so you guys can actually see. Like, everything about it is beautiful. Let's walk over. This is my wedding dress. Oh my gosh. My train has a pretty long train on it. Can we talk about how perfect this is? And it fits so good. So good. I can't believe this is my wedding dress. I cannot believe it. I can't believe this is my wedding dress. This is my dress. And it is beautiful. It is everything I wanted and more. It's everything I wanted and more. Oh my gosh. 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 Oh, I do kind of wish I had like some of my friends over. Maybe I should have had them over. It is so beautiful. I can't stop staring at it. Myra Toro asked, budgeting for your honeymoon and planning it. It looked amazing. Honestly, we didn't have really a set budget for my honeymoon. We just knew that we wanted to go to Thailand. We looked at a few other places that were kind of similar in pricing, although I knew once we got there it would be rather expensive just because you're on an island and things have to get shipped in, and it just gets really pricey when you do something like that. So Thailand I knew would be a little more affordable once we got there, so that's what we ended up going with. Unfortunately, it actually wasn't that affordable when we got there just because the area that we stayed in was more of like a fancier, like nicer hotel area, so a lot of the food and stuff was priced the same as it would be at home. Nonetheless, it was beautiful and amazing. We love the resort we stayed at. I will list all that stuff down below once again. Nacosta 2012 said, congrats, thank you, and she said, I wanted to know, are you going to be changing your last name to Bales? Yes, I am changing my last name. A few of you guys asked me this. I already did change my last name actually. I just didn't change it on my social media accounts just because on YouTube my name is stuck the way it is. There's no way of changing it, at least not now. YouTube just doesn't allow you to do that. And in order to make things simple to find me and just everything just goes together the way it is, it would be way too hard to like change my name on Instagram, on Twitter and all of that and then just confuse you guys. So I'm leaving my name the way it is, although my real name now is Arlyne Bales. Sophie Coleman asked, who were your bridesmaids? My bridesmaids were my 3 sisters and 2 of my closest girlfriends. Brittany Moran asked, what was your favorite part about the wedding and did you like your dress? Yes, I was obsessed with my dress. I loved it. Everything about it was exactly what I was looking for. And my favorite part about the wedding was, oh man, I don't know if I have a favorite part. I feel like marrying Weston at the altar was one of my favorite parts. Like that's what I have like in my mind, that every time I think about it, I can imagine myself just like holding his hands and being at the altar. Another favorite part was when we walked in together, when they welcomed us and we like danced together. That was so much fun. And then obviously like the dancing at the end of the night was so much fun. We had an absolute blast. Everybody was dancing. Like it was just the most amazing time. Lane Clopton asked, where are those robes for your bridesmaids from and what kind of flowers did you carry and have throughout the wedding and how did you decide on the flowers? The robes I mentioned in my last video, they were from Target. I got them last year, so I don't think they're available anymore. And the flowers I chose, honestly, I still don't know too much about flowers. There's only a few flowers that I really know that I love. The other ones I think all flowers are are very beautiful. But what I did was I sent a bunch of pictures to my florist of what I really liked. This was before I had confirmed her. I just was looking for people. I sent her a bunch of pictures and she put together an entire proposal of what she thought I would like. Even then, I didn't know exactly what everything would look like. I met with her and I fully trusted her. I felt like she grasped my vision. This is what I mean by like finding the most amazing vendors, and she completely came through. All the flowers ended up so beautiful. I had so many guests telling me that they were like the most beautiful arrangements they'd seen, so I was super happy with her. Like I said, everybody will be listed down below because I'm obsessed with all my vendors. Alright, so that's everything for this video. I hope I answered most of your guys' questions. If you guys have other questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them that way. But yeah, my camera's dying, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel so you guys don't miss any videos. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. That's all listed down below as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.